Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. Chapter 2, verse number 21. Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katam sa purusha partha kam gat kam gata yati hantikam Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katam sa purusha partha kam gatayati hantyakam Veda vinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katam sa purusha partha kam gatayati hantyakam. Yes. Please recite the verse.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Veda vinan Ved avinashinam nityam ya enam ajam avyayam katham sa purusha partham kam ghatayati hantikamam.
Okay. Someone else, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Veda vinashinam nityam ya ena majamavyayam katam sa purusha partha kam khadayati handikam. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Yes. Translation, someone, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. O Partha, how can a person who knows that the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immutable kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, our topic of discussion, our topic of Krishna's discussion with Arjuna is about the science of the soul, right? So, we have been discussing this particular theme. I mean, Krishna is speaking about the soul right from verse number 13. So, we can see he is continuing that up to verse number 30. We can see the beautiful, elaborate description of the soul by Krishna. This is a foundational knowledge. In fact, it's very important for all of us to understand the nature. I mean, our actual identity. Our actual identity is not the body, what we are seeing outside. The outside body is only a covering. It's just like a shirt. It's just like a kurta that will destroy by time. But our actual identity is we are all spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. So now Krishna is proving that actually that spirit souls, the qualities and the characteristics of spirit soul is being explained in all these verses what we are discussing now. Okay, so he's saying, how can a person who knows that soul is indestructible? So soul is indestructible means cannot be destroyed. It is eternal. Eternal means it is always existing. Unborn, it's aja. Ajam means unborn. Unborn means there is no time when soul has taken birth. We have seen that in the previous section also. Krishna is saying that the soul is eternally present. It's not that one day soul is coming and after some few days it is dying. Not like that. Not like the body. Soul is always, soul is eternal, unborn, immutable. And immutable means it cannot be changed. Mutation, there is a term called as mutation in the biology. The genes can be mutated by if there is any changes in the configuration, something happens to the genes. It is called as mutation. The entire function of that gene will change. So similarly, it's here it's mentioned that soul is immutable, means it cannot be mutated. Nothing can change the soul. Nothing will happen to the soul. So nobody can kill, nobody can cause anyone to kill. So soul is completely aloof from all this. So Prabhupada's purport we'll see. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Everything has its proper utility, and a man who is situated in complete knowledge knows how and where to apply a thing for its proper utility. Similarly, violence also has its utility, and how to apply violence rests with the person in knowledge. So Prabhupada is mentioning here an important principle. He's saying that everything has its proper utility. Hmm? Utility means everything can be used. Whatever activities we do, whatever things we have, there is a purpose or utility. Hmm? So you hear Prabhupada is mentioning about violence. So the violence, why violence? The reason is that Arjuna did not want to fight in the battlefield, right? So he is saying that it is violence. We are killing somebody, it's violence, so we should not do. That's Arjuna's argument. But now Krishna is trying to prove him that what you are going to do in the fight, if you are fighting in the battlefield, you are actually not doing violence. Because it is something which we have to do because to establish the dharma, and because to kill the miscreants and to establish dharma is the duty of a Kshatriya that he has to do. So he is not doing any violence, and not only that, it is being done on the instruction of Krishna, based on an authority. So it's not a violence at all. So violence, Prabhupada mentioned violence also has a utility. So the act may look like a violence, of course. Killing or fighting is an act of violence, externally if we speaking. But how to apply, Prabhupada mentions that how to apply violence depends upon the person in knowledge. So even violence can be used in Krishna service. That is the point. Prabhupada mentions, although the justice of the peace awards capital punishment to a person condemned for murder, the justice of peace cannot be blamed because he orders violence to another person according to the courts of justice. This is the point. So in the Supreme Court, the judge is giving a verdiction, right? Okay, if a criminal, criminal who has done so many crimes, so many killing, so many murder, so maybe he might be sentenced to death, maybe sometimes capital punishment. That is called as capital punishment. So a person is awarding capital punishment. Justice. The Supreme Court judge is giving that punishment or ordering that punishment to that particularly to somebody. We should understand that he is not violating any rules. He is ordering that violence according to the courts of the justice. Because in the Manu Samhita, it's a law book for all the mankind, it is supported that a murderer should be condemned to death so that in the next life he will not have to suffer for the great sin he has committed. So this is the thing. So Manu Samhita also clearly states that for a murderer's capital punishment is the best, best thing, or we can say is good to do for him. It's not we are killing somebody and for our enjoyment. Actually, because definitely that murderer will have a reaction. He is going to suffer for that killing. Somebody killing, he would have killed many people. He is definitely going to get punishment from the laws of nature. So from the laws of nature, definitely he is going to get karma. But the Manu Samhita is giving this point. Manu Samhita says that if he is getting punishment for one time, for example, he is getting capital punishment. Actually, he is getting an opportunity to just write off, or we can say just to finish off his karma. Anyway, he is going to get karma. But if he is getting a punishment, that's actually a mercy on him actually, because he will not have to suffer for many lifetimes. Otherwise, he may have to suffer. He may not be killed, but he will have to go through different sufferings. Maybe how many lifetimes he will have to go through, we don't know. So it is good to get punishment. So that's the point. Manu Samhita also states that. So therefore, the king's punishment of hanging a murderer is actually beneficial. So it's always beneficial it's actually beneficial because for that person. Otherwise, he will have to go through karmas maybe for many lifetimes. But In one go, he is getting punishment because that is the highest punishment, capital punishment. That means he is actually getting benefited. Prabhupada further mentions that similarly, when Krishna orders fighting, it must be concluded that violence is for the supreme justice, and thus Arjuna should follow the instructions, knowing well that such violence committed in the act of fighting for Krishna is not violence at all, because at any rate the man, or rather the soul, cannot be killed. For the administration of the justice, so called violence is permitted. So Prabhupada mentions here that Krishna is ordering Arjuna to fight, right? So definitely it is more than the Supreme Court's Supreme Judge's order because the Supreme Personality of the Godhead is giving instruction. Please do this, right? So it's um, definitely not violence. Not only that, even if it is okay, it may act it is an act of violence, but it is for the supreme justice. It is for the supreme justice. And and also one more point Prabhupada mentions that even though it is a violence, kind of violence, but for supreme justice, he is not killing anybody, because soul cannot be killed. Only the body can be killed, right? So nothing is happening to the soul. So yeah, so this is so for administration of justice, so-called violence is permitted. So violence is permitted only for the administration of justice, and it has to be ordered by superior authority. Then it is permitted. Like we mentioned in the last class also, that somebody in the border security force, protecting the country, maybe if some invaders are coming from different country, they have the right to kill them by shooting them, right? So, and if they do that, they will not get any punishment. Rather, they will get awards, they will get recognitions. But the same person, during his leave, during his vacation, the same same army man, he is coming during his vacation, coming to his hometown, his village, and he's somehow something happened with his neighbor. He's taking his pistol and shooting him, just for example. If he is doing that, then it's going to be a problem for him, because he will be punished, because that's not based on the authority. He has done whimsically. That's for him he has done, not for the country or not on the order of a superior authority. So because of that, he will be definitely punished. Even if that person might be the superior officer in the army, or any even police, wherever, they cannot take all these licenses just for their own personal agenda. But they can do the violence, but again, that's as per the authority. So therefore, Prabhupada mentions the fighting to be executed by Arjuna at the instruction of Krishna is with full knowledge. So there is no possibility of sinful reaction. So there is no possibility of sinful reaction in this case for Arjuna. So Arjuna can straight away do the fighting. He doesn't have to think much. But anyway, because of his thoughts, we are getting Bhagavad Gita. Right, Hare Krishna. Next verse. Famous verse. Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grinadi naropparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Recite, please.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि।
कृष्णा प्रभु जी। वासांसि यथा विहाय नवानि नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you, Sam. Translation.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
As a person puts on new garments, Giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So here it's mentioned a person, the beautiful verse actually, Krishna is saying that as a person puts on a new garments, like we all change the dresses, right? If giving up old ones, if our garment is getting old, we'll change it to the new one, right? Similarly, what is happening? The soul is accepting new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So this is what is happening during death, because we will become old or invalid. Soul will leave the body and he will be soul will accept another material body if the karma still existing in their it is still valid in their subtle body. Because so we need to understand how this is happening. So during death our gross body is not gross body is getting destroyed, right? Because when we die, what is happening is that gross body means the body what we can see outside. This is the gross body. So gross body is getting destroyed, of course, because we are doing samskar, in the sense, we are actually burning our body in the fire also, isn't it? So that's the tradition we follow. So body is destroyed, the gross body is destroyed, but subtle body is not destroyed. Subtle body includes mind, intelligence, false ego, right? And this subtle body will not be destroyed until we cross this material world. This subtle body will be with us always. Same mind, same intelligence, same ego is going to be with us throughout. So, so when this whole journey started in this material world, from that time onwards, we have the same mind, we have the same intelligence, but the same false ego. Same in the sense that is not changing. Soul is also not changing, we know that. So along with the soul, the subtle body is moving from one body to another body to another body. So it's going like that. It can go into the body of a tree, it can go to the body of a it can take the body of a tree, or can be animal body, human body, it can be demigod, devata's body. But these three, the subtle body is always with us. So what is happening during death is that the soul is leaving the body, leaving the gross body. Along with that, subtle body is also going, and then they accept another body. How they are accepting another body is all depending upon what karmas we have done. So the subtle body is deciding what will be our next destination, because all our karmas, all our impressions, past life impressions, past life desires, that is there in the mind. And because mind is a subtle body, wherever the mind is taking us, mind and intelligence and false ego is taking us, accordingly we are getting a body. So if we have done so many sins or so many bad things, what will happen? There will be reaction for it, right? So for that, accordingly we are getting a body, basically. So soul is not affected by actually any of these things. Soul is basically spiritual, we know that, part and parcel of Krishna, but soul is getting covered by the subtle body, basically. This is what is happening temporarily. Like we say the example of sun rises, sun sets, but sun is not, sunset means what? Sun is actually moving away from our hemisphere he will be going to different, that rotation is happening, and he's not like disappearance. There is no disappearance for the sun, no appearance for the sun. It's actually we are not seeing that. Doesn't mean that sun is now, he has disappeared. It's not disappeared actually, in the sense there is no death as it is, as we say. It's only just a matter of time. After some time it will come back, right? In the sense the same sun will be giving light to different place. So similarly, The soul is getting temporarily covered by all this material subtle body, and soul somehow has to depend upon the subtle body. In fact, it is independent, but problem is that our desires are so strong. Our subtle body, our desires, our intelligence, mind and intelligence is very, very strong. So soul has to accept the bodies. We'll have to accept a body, because to remain in this material world we need a body. We need a gross body for sure. Without body we can't stay. There are some living entities, they don't have body, like gross body. They are like bhuta, you can say ghost. Actually ghost means they don't have a subtle body, but they have they have subtle body only, but they don't have gross body. They are actually bhutas or pishachas, whatever we say, right? Actually, if you think ghosts are existing or not, actually yes. It's not a fake thing. Actually ghosts are there. So ghost means someone who doesn't have a gross body is called as ghost basically, but they have subtle body. Subtle body means they have desires. That is why sometimes we would have heard also this ghost is entering into different body, right? Have we heard that? Maybe some movies also has come. Ghost is entering into somebody because they don't have a gross body, so they will the ghost's mind will have so many desires, so many impressions will be there. So accordingly they will be searching for a body, suitable body. And if you are getting an opportunity, if someone is very weak hearted, maybe to their body they will enter. That is what is happening. So anyway, the point is that mind, false ego and intelligence, our subtle body is going to be with us always until we cross this material world. And this subtle body along with the soul is moving to different accepting different gross bodies. That is what Krishna is saying here. The accepting the gross body is what is being discussed here. Okay? Different gross bodies will be accepted according to the like we are rejecting our old useless clothes and accepting new clothes similarly, in that way. Prabhupada mentions in the purport, changes of the body by the atomic individual soul is an accepted fact. Even the modern scientists who do not believe in the existence of the soul, but at the same time cannot explain the source of energy from the heart, have to accept continuous changes of body which appear from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth and again from youth to old age. From old age, the change is transferred to another body. This has already been explained in the previous verse. So we have seen this in the previous verse also. That for body there are changes from childhood to boyhood, boyhood to youth, like that. Similarly, but soul is not getting affected by these changes. That's the point. And after old age, from old age, the body change is happening. The entire body is changing. Yeah. Transference of atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the super soul. So how the soul is getting another body? Again, Prabhupada mentions that it's possible by the grace of super soul. The super soul means Paramatma, means Krishna, fulfills the desire of the atomic soul. Atomic soul is our individual soul or we. So super soul is fulfilling the desire of the atomic soul as one friend fulfills the desire of another. So like a friend is helping other, fulfilling the desire of another friend, super soul is helping. That's what Prabhupada mentions. The Vedas, like Mundaka Upanishad and the Shvetashvatara Upanishad, compare the soul and the super soul to two friendly birds sitting on the same tree. So this is a comparison given in the Upanishads. Soul is compared, soul and super soul. So this soul and super soul is compared to two birds sitting on the same tree, and one of the bird, that is individual soul, is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird, Krishna or Paramatma, is simply watching the friend. Of the two birds, although they are same in quality, One is captivated by the fruits of material nature, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of the friend. So this is the comparison given here. One bird is atomic soul, another bird is Krishna, basically, super soul, and one bird is eating the fruits of the tree means literally, that's the literal meaning, right? Bird will eat the fruit of the tree. Similarly, individual soul, like all of us, we are trying to enjoy the fruits of this world. In the sense, we are trying to enjoy this world, senses. So we are trying to enjoy in this world. So that is like eating fruits by the birds. And other person, Krishna, is watching that actually. This is what is happening. But so then we may think that, okay, how it is possible that the atomic soul is enjoying the fruit? We already mentioned, actually soul is not the person, or soul is not doing that. Our subtle body, including the mind, intelligence, they are actually acting based on the three modes of material nature. We will come to that. Based on the gunas, it is being happening. Soul is actually, unfortunately, has to has to be with, is forcefully. Actually, the soul is forced to be with the subtle body. That is why. That is why soul is. Here it's saying that eating the fruits of the tree. Actually speaking, soul is pure, but because of the contamination by this subtle body, because of the modes of nature, it is acting in that way. The modes are acting in that way. Soul is like a neutral person actually, but he has to be with them, no other way. Because in this world, without a body, because soul, what is the purpose? Without a body, there is no existence here, right? So that is the only reason. Soul is having the subtle body and soul is taking subtle bodies and gross bodies support for the existence. Otherwise, can't exist here. Again, so while the other is okay. So Krishna, as Paramatma, is watching that what is the individual soul is doing. So basically, the point is that Krishna is sitting in our heart. It's compared to one of the bird, and Krishna is watching what we are doing. This is the point. So whatever we are doing, all the activities, Krishna is simply witnessing it. And Prabhupada mentions here further, Krishna is the witnessing bird and Arjuna is the eating bird in this particular example. Because Arjuna is the individual soul, Krishna is the super soul. So although they are friends, one is still the master and other is the servant. So we know that. Forgetfulness of this relationship by the atomic soul is the cause of one's changing his position from one tree to another or from one body to another. So why, Prabhupada clearly mentions, why the atomic soul is, causing, is the cause of one's changing the position. Like we are getting different bodies in this world, right? Why it is happening is that because of the forgetfulness of our relationship with Krishna. Because of that, we are going from one body to another body to another body, like that. We have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. So the jiva, the soul, Prabhupada mentions, is struggling very hard on the tree of the material body, but as soon as he agrees to accept the other bird as the supreme spiritual master, as Arjuna agreed to do by voluntarily surrendered unto Krishna for instruction, then the subordinate means individual soul, immediately becomes free from all lamentation. So basically, when we forget about the relationship with Krishna, we have to go through all the struggles in this material world. But when we are agreeing to accept Krishna, or like here Krishna and Arjuna is compared to the individual soul, Krishna is the super soul. So if Arjuna is accepting the order of Krishna, accepting the instruction of Krishna, then he is free from all lamentations. Similarly, we all of us, if we are accepting the scriptures are Krishna's words, accepting the orders of our spiritual master is representative of Krishna. So if we are accepting that and turning towards Krishna, then nothing can stop us. We will be free from all the problems of this world. Now we are facing so many problems, lamentations. Why? Because we are not turning towards Krishna. We are still thinking that we are our identity as a body, as this body, and we don't know the purpose of life. That is why we are suffering here. And we have so many desires. Okay, Shvetashvatara Upanishad says, Samane vrikshe purusho nimagno nishaya shochati muhyamanaha jushtam yada pashyati anyamesham asya mahimanam iti vita shokaha. So same explanation, whatever we have discussed. Again, in the other Upanishad also mentioning that two birds, although the two birds are in the same tree, the eating bird is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness as the enjoyer of the fruits of the tree. So that is compared to individual, all of us, because we are having anxiety, moroseness. But if in some way or other he turns his face to his friend, the other bird, the Lord, and knows his glories, at once the suffering of the bird becomes free from all anxiety. So if we are turning towards Krishna, all our anxieties are gone. Arjuna has now turned his face towards his eternal friend Krishna and is understanding Bhagavad Gita from him. And thus, hearing from Krishna, he can understand the supreme glories of the Lord and be free from the lamentation. So this is the only way to be free from the lamentation, is to hear from Krishna and follow that. To turn towards Krishna. Then we will be free from all lamentation. So like Arjuna did, all of us have to do. So Arjuna is advised herewith by the Lord not to lament for the bodily change of his old grandfather and his teacher. He should rather be happy to kill their bodies in the righteous fight, so that they may be cleansed at once of all reactions from the various bodily activities. One who lays down his life on the sacrificial altar or in the proper battlefield, it at once cleansed of all bodily reactions and promoted to higher status of life. So there was no cause for Arjuna's lamentation. So Prabhupada makes this point very clear here, that whoever is, during anything, any sacrifices, during any yagyas, for example, this is not applicable in the current Kali Yuga, by the way. In the previous yugas, as per the Vedas, there are some sacrifices mentioned for different purposes, by the way. So that sacrifices are basically done, maybe some animal sacrifices also, but by the way, this is not applicable now. In the previous yugas, we are saying. So animal sacrifice, if that animal sacrifice is happening, conducted by a proper Brahmana, by chanting all the Vedic mantras as per the scriptures, qualified Brahmana, if he is performing, and if all the ingredients which is being used for the yajna is proper, pure, then what is happening is that animal who is being sacrificed is going to get a better body. Sometimes even they get a human form. So in that way, it's beneficial for them, basically. Not they are not losing anything. But now currently, maybe in this world, people may say that doing some kind of sacrifices, but that those sacrifices are in the mode of ignorance, not in the mode of goodness. They might be killing animals, saying that it's a sacrifice, but it's a yajna kind of, but it's all in the mode of ignorance. So that they will get punishment for killing animal, for sure, because they are not qualified Brahmanas. They are not doing for the pleasing the higher authorities. They are doing for eating, for some sense gratification, nothing else. So they will get punishment. Otherwise, they will not. So Prabhupada mentions here that any animals being killed in the actual proper sacrifice, as per the Vedic injunctions, then animal is not losing anything. He is getting a new body, better body. And similarly, in the battlefield, if something is happening, I mean, if a person is being killed in the battlefield, this is a righteous war. This is not something like, it's a righteous dharma yuddha, right? In the dharma yuddha, somebody is being killed, they will definitely get a higher body. So that is something which we need to understand. So Arjuna should not lament for that. Arjuna should be. That's what Krishna is giving instruction first in first place. Secondly, he's getting. They are actually getting a new body according to their karma, according to their future. Definitely, they will get a higher birth. And ultimately, our Acharya says they are going to die in front of Krishna. So they are actually going to get spiritual bodies, not even material bodies. So in all the ways they are getting benefited. But Arjuna is still confused. So that's the point Prabhupada mentions here. Okay. One more verse we can do. 23. Nainam chindandi shastrani nainam dahati pavakaha na chainam kletayantyapo na shoshyati marutaha.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavagaha na chainam kledayandyapo na shoshayadi marudaha. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Anybody else?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। नैनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नैनं दहति पावक न चैनं क्लेदयन्तापो न शोषयति मारुतः।
Thank you. Translation, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor wetted by the wind.
Thank you, Prabhu. Soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon. This is again, Krishna is telling that soul cannot be killed actually. No weapon can kill soul. Soul is ever existing. Nor burned by the fire. It cannot be burned. If the body is burned, we know after death the body is burned. But anyway, soul has already left the body. Soul, nothing will happen to soul also. Nor moistened by water means any fire weapon, any water weapon, because in the previous times there were so many different types of weapons, not only nuclear weapon, what we are seeing here, even the nuclear weapon, the high quality nuclear weapons were there, like Brahmastra. No, they can function, this very, very powerful astras, weapons, and they work according to as per the mantras, not not like that whatever we are seeing in this world now, nuclear weapons. So anyway, similarly, nuclear weapons were there, water weapons were there, even so many. So soul cannot be killed by any of these things. Even they can be moistened by water. Not even wind can have any effect on the soul, nothing. So Prabhupada mentioned the purport. All kinds of weapons here mentions, swords, flame weapons, rain weapons, tornado weapons, etc. are unable to kill the spirit soul. It appears that there were many kinds of weapons made of earth, water, air, ether, etc. in addition to the modern weapons of the fire. So Prabhupada mentions that previously all these types of weapons were there. Even the nuclear weapons of the modern age are classified as fire weapons. But formerly these weapons, other weapons made of all different types of metal elements. Fire weapons were counteracted by water weapons, which are now unknown to the modern science. So now nobody knows about this. Fire weapons are counteracted by the water weapons. Unknown to the modern science, nor do modern scientists have knowledge of tornado weapon. It's all in the Shastras, by the way. Nonetheless, the soul can never be cut into pieces nor annihilated by any number of weapons, regardless of scientific devices. So, nothing will happen to soul. The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original super soul. So Mayavadis, they have Mayavadis means there's some sect of people who are having different conception of the spirituality. They are having different conception altogether. They say that individual soul came into the existence simply by ignorance and consequently covered by the illusory energy. Means they are saying that individual soul is a product of matter, which is not it's not correct actually. Soul is part of Krishna. Soul is not part of material elements. So Prabhupada mentions that it is never ever possible to cut the individual soul from the original super soul. Rather, individual souls are eternally separated parts of the soul. So individual souls are part of the super soul or Krishna. Because they are atomic individual souls eternally, Sanatana, they are prone to be covered by the illusory energy, and thus they become separated from the association of the Lord. As just Prabhupada mentioned the beautiful example, sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. The sparks from the fire has qualities of a fire, right? When it is away from the fire, when it is coming out from the fire, it is prone to extinguish after some time, right? After some time it will be extinguished. Similarly, we are all Krishna's part and parcel. We are like sparks of the fire, and Krishna is like fire, for example here. Then as long as the sparks of the fire are with the fire, then we are having all the qualities of fire. Not only that, we are with the fire. Qualities are there. We get the same qualities. Or we can say that we are with Krishna. But if we are moving away from Krishna, like sparks are going away, then what will happen? It will extinguish after some time. Similarly, if we are moving away from Krishna, then we will be caught by the material energy, which is this material world. Again, this material energy is Krishna's energy only, but we will be caught by the Maya Shakti, and we will be always, then we will be taking birth again in the world, birth, death, old age, disease will be continuing. We will be continuing in this cycle of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. So, we are actually eternal, Sanatan, individual souls, but we are prone to covered by illusory energy is Maya Shakti, the external energy of Krishna. So we are prone, but if we are really careful, okay, now somehow we have come into this material world. Anyway, we were moving. Why we are still here is why the reason is that we have not turned towards Krishna yet properly. That is why we are still in this material world. From long time, from lifetimes after lifetime, we are in this material world only because we have still not turned towards Krishna. So we have to turn towards Krishna. Then we will not take birth in this world again. We will go to spiritual world. That's the ultimate purpose of human life. That's the goal of our human life. Prabhupada mentioned in the Varaha Purana, the living entities are described as parts and parcel of Supreme. They are eternally so, according to Bhagavad Gita also. So even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity, as is evident from the teachings of Lord to Arjuna. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. So Prabhupada mentions that regarding the individuality of the soul. So soul always have the individuality. So there is no like the soul is merging into the Brahma Jyoti and losing the identity. That is not actually applicable. Hmm? That is not, that will never happen. Individual soul will always have individuality. And here Prabhupada mentions that the living entity remains separate identity always. And we can understand that from the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna is receiving instructions from Krishna, and he is receiving it and following it. He is going to follow that. Prabhupada mentions Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. Means one with Krishna. This is Mayavadi philosophy. Prabhupada starts this paragraph by explaining about Mayavadi. So Mayavadi's conception is that individual souls are product of matter. That's one statement from them. Second statement from them, they say that by liberation we are becoming one with Krishna. Becoming one with Krishna means we are merging into Krishna. This is what they say. We are not actually merging with Krishna. Merging means if something is merging with somebody, something, actually the identity of what is merging into, for example, A is merging with B. For example, A is original and B is here. B is coming and merging into A. So what is happening is that B is losing the identity basically, right? And it will become A, part of A. Similarly, Mayavadi says that they are saying that A and B, their concept is that when B comes and joins, means the individual soul is coming to Krishna and merging into him, and we will become Krishna. The individual soul is becoming Krishna. That's their concept, but it's wrong. So there is no conception of we becoming God. God is always God. We are only part and parcel. So we can come closer to Krishna. We can be with Krishna, but we are not losing our identity. We are always His servant. He is the Supreme Lord. So we are not losing the individuality. So A and B will be closer always, but it is not, the B is not losing the identity. And B is like a servant to A in this example. So like that. So Mayavadi's conception is completely wrong in that way. They are saying that merging happens, then we become God. That is not true. We never become God. We never become Krishna. They are saying that even we are God also. Even in this material, when we are in the world, or in this material world also, they say we can become God. So that is impossible. So anyway, these are Mayavadi philosophy. By Krishna's mercy, by Prabhupada's mercy, he is explaining everything to us, and he is educating all of us what is right, what is wrong, so that we are clear in the philosophies. Because so many Mayavadi's followers are there in this world. Still, so many are there. So we have to be a little careful when we deal with such people. Their entire conception is different. Okay, they might be doing some spirituality, not sure, no doubt they are practicing some spirituality, but their fundamental understanding of Jiva, Ishvara is different. They say that Jiva and Ishvara is same. They might be doing some spiritual practices, but conclusion is different. So we have to be careful. That is why Prabhupada repeatedly speaks about Mayavadis, that we should never fall into the trap of that conception, because if we think that we are Krishna, we are God, then it's a big aparadha we are doing to Krishna. It's like that a small sweeper in the office and in the biggest company of this world, Google or whatever, ADNOC we can say in our country, in this country, ADNOC is the biggest company. The CEO of ADNOC and the sweeper in the, or the office boy of the ADNOC, one of the office boy in one of the office of ADNOC, he is claiming that I am the CEO. Is it correct? Can anybody accept it? It's like we are claiming that we are Krishna. It's not correct, and it's not. So this office boy may be cleaning the office of the CEO. He might be, maybe when in the office, when the CEO is not in the office, he can even sit on the chair without his knowledge. But still he cannot claim that I am the CEO. So CEO is CEO, sweeper is sweeper. Similarly, individual soul is individual soul, Krishna is the Supreme Lord, but we have a connection. We are part and parcel of Krishna, we are Krishna's servant. So that's the right understanding. Okay, so thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Gaura Premanandi. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, Ketar Prabhu. Hare Bol.